Um, Path, are you in there? Okay, 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 okay. Let's wait a minute.
Yeah, so
Yeah, now, yes.
okay, okay,
Okay, perfect.
uh,
Now,
good,
now.
good.
Okay, let's wait until five, and we can start
Mhm.
like 2 more minutes. Uh, Waiting for more people come in and join. I will announce it now. And yeah. Uh, okay, I announce it. Okay, so 1 more minute and we start. By the way, how are you, people? Good? All the week it's going good to everyone? Uh, okay, if you want Parth, you can we can start. Okay, so yeah, are you
Yeah,
good?
okay. Mhm.
Okay, so hello
Yeah, yeah.
everyone. We start this section, section of cyber sources that will be about talks in English. We will be one in English, one in Spanish, because also we have the Spanish community also. So the idea is have some talks about with experts that they can um, teach us some things and we can improve our community. So in no, you're not. I can hear you, man. But okay, so the idea of these sessions, it's we have Parth, that is an expert of CTFs, book bounty also, and he's professional in cybersecurity is very good. So he will teach us how to start because we have some people that is starting in cybersecurity. So it's very important to start. So if you can fix your mic because I think that you have problems. Yeah, now yes, now yes, I think so. Talk? Okay. No, no, I can hear you. I can't. That's very strange. No, we can't. We can't hear you. So try, I don't know, try disconnect and connect again. But it's just strange because yeah,
Let me know if I'm audible or not.
yeah, now yes, now yes, yes.
I don't know what's the issue. Like when sometime audio is coming and not. Okay, just let me know when the audio goes. Okay, so I hope my screen
Okay,
is
I will
visible.
I will I will text you in the I don't know if you have the chat open, but you can see
Yeah, I'm having chat
the chat. I will
chat open.
text you there so I will not interrupt you. Um,
Exactly.
okay, so you can start whenever you want, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So hello everyone. And as you know, we will be going to study about breaking into cybersecurity. And I'm gonna tell you three things here, like what are the cybersecurity basic, the fundamentals that you need to do, that you need to clear. Second thing is gonna be bug bounty, like how to get started in bug bounty, bug hunting. And the third thing is gonna be CTFs, how to get started in CTFs, how to play CTFs, and whatever I will be telling you is from my personal experience. So it will be really helpful for you guys. So let's start. So first of all, who am I? My name is Parth Narula, as you already seen from the event. Okay, so I'm a security researcher and a founder of company Scriptchecker LLP, and I've done freelancing also, pen testing, and many pen testing engagement and many other work. And I've secured over 450 plus companies, organizations from all around the world, and I've got 250 plus Hall of Fames. Okay, and if you don't know what holofilms, I will be telling that. So it's basically like if you report a security vulnerability to a company, and if that's valid, so company add your name to their website. Okay, as a token of appreciation or as a recognition. And also there is two CVs assigned under my name. Many others are under processing. Yeah, and some of my achievements are that I've been doing like really great in bug hunting. I've earned a lot of bounties. I've got a lot of bounties from bug hunting, and acknowledged by many global organizations like Australian government, Berlin government, Indian government, BBC, UNESCO, Michelin, Cambridge. You can read the list, and I was year 21, all India rank 21 in a web hacking event, which was a national level event in around the world, in which around 10,000 plus participants were there. Okay, and I'm 5x CTF winner, including the national level CTFs. Okay, and yeah, this is my website. You want to visit, so you can visit. And my Medium, I will be telling them all about this. Okay, and my GitHub. Okay, I've done some certifications like EWPTX, CEHV13, EJPT, EHE, and ACP. And I'm specialized in web application pen testing, API pen testing, Android pen testing, and red teamings, and our AI security, which is new trend in cybersecurity right now. Okay, so I hope I was audible till now. Okay, so roadmap. See, I will be telling you in brief also and in short also. So right now I'm telling in the short, but in upcoming slides also I will try to show you the practicals, and in that I'll tell you very brief so that it will be easy for you guys. Okay, so yeah. So the first thing is foundation. Obviously, if you are coming in any field, it doesn't matter that it's cybersecurity, it can be any field, your foundation, your basics should be clear, right? If you are building a strong house, so we have to, like, we have to make the base stronger, then only it can stand, right? So we have to make our base stronger. We have to learn about the foundations, okay, in cybersecurity. So foundation include hardware knowledge. Hardware knowledge is like what? Like you know about what is monitor, keyboard, mouse, what is motherboard, components of that, and like that, whatever the hardware which you are dealing. Okay, also the software, like what is BIOS and all about that, how bootloader work. Okay, and then the second thing is networking. You need to really strong with the networking. I'm not talking about networking with people, but networks, how network works, protocols, OSI model, right? So you need to know about that. Then third topic is our OS, operating system. Okay, so it can be your Linux. Yeah, you need to go good with Linux and Windows. These are the two most operating system that you will be using daily. And programming knowledge, you should be having a programming knowledge. It doesn't mean that you need to be a developer. You just need to know how you can read the code, how you can modify the code, because it will be helping you when you are generating the payloads, like for example XSS. If you don't know about that, it's fine. It's a vulnerability, web vulnerability. So for that, if we know JavaScript, it will really help us to build or to like make the payloads that can evade WAF, web application firewall, right? So programming can really help, and in white box pen testing or in source code review, it helps a lot. Yeah, it can be done with the help of AI. We can integrate AI nowadays. Okay, I'll be telling you that in later slides. So, and the next thing is web fundamentals, right? So what is request, what is response, how status code works, what are status code, different kind of HTTP request. hmm? So these come under web fundamentals. Okay, then a security mindset. Obviously, if you are coming in this field, then you need to have a security mindset. Okay, okay. So and before moving further, I want to tell more about cybersecurity. Like it not just ethical hacking, it not just bug bounty. It's way, way, way more vast than that. It include like every like whatever things you study, it can be a career. For example, if you study networking, you can become a network engineer. That comes under cybersecurity. If you study about firewalls, that can become a career itself. Okay, and if you study about the Linux, that can become a career itself, like Linux administrator. Okay, so these all things, like whatever you will be studying, you do not need to go very deep, okay, in that, but you need to have a very good knowledge about that so that you can do your daily task very easily. Okay, so as said that cybersecurity is not just ethical hacking, bug bounty, it's way more. It include blue teaming, defensive side. It include red teaming, which is we ethical hackers, pen testers, who is offensive side basically, who is breaking the systems, who is simulating the real life attacks, but with the permission obviously, and purple teaming. So these are the three things in which cybersecurity is divided. Okay, and the purple teaming include both the things. Okay, like your red teaming and blue teaming, like defensive and attacking, both the things. Okay, so these were the foundations that is very necessary. And the second, like today's topic is just gonna be these bug bounty, cybersecurity, and CTF. So yeah, and second is bug bounty. For bug bounty, you need to know about reconnaissance, information gathering. Like you have to gather information about the target before exploiting it, or before finding the vulnerabilities, or for increasing the scope. Okay, so like for example, if you wanna attack a person, or if you wanna like attack a person, so you need to know about the person. You need to gather information like when the person sleeps, wake up, where he go, all the information. So that comes under reconnaissance. You are gathering as much information as you can. Okay, and it can be divided into further two categories. That's your passive and active reconnaissance. Passive means basically you are not interacting with the target. He doesn't know you that you are interacting with that or not. You are just using the internet for
Um, Wait, are you muted? So, okay,
just
okay,
wait 2 minutes, just wait.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, so I hope I'm audible. Yeah. Sorry, apologies for the inconvenience. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So I was telling about bug bounty recon that there are two categories, active and passive. So in passive, you are not interacting with the target itself. You are using the open source intelligence. Whatever is on the internet, you are using that, right? And second is our OWASP top 10. That's the base for your bug hunting. And OWASP is like in many categories. It can be web OWASP top 10 for web. It can be OWASP top 10 for APIs, for AI, LLM applications, for mobile applications, you can just Google it and you will find all the categories, all the types of like OWASP have list the category of top 10 vulnerabilities for different kind of operating systems or technologies. Okay, so the next thing is Bob Suite. It's a software which can do almost all the things that is required. Like it's a tool, it's a software that can include 100 plus tools or even more. Okay, it's a complete software that we can use for pen testing, for bug hunting. Okay, and the next thing is our API testing. If you are studying about web, because studying about web security is the base. We have to start with that. We cannot directly jump in the mobile security or in AI security because web and APIs are almost everywhere, mostly APIs. Okay, and if you are doing web, so also APIs come, because if you are obviously if you are doing something, if we are on Discord, how the things are working, API requests are getting sent it. So API requests, API endpoints, it can be like GraphQL, REST API or so. Okay, so these are almost, I guess, more than 80% of the internet, just APIs. Okay, so the next thing is report writing. You find the vulnerability, you done the recon. Now, how you can report? You have to write a proper report, which I will be telling you, a template, okay, and the platforms. You know, you have practiced the things, but where you will be actually finding the bugs, where you will be reporting that. So they are platforms, okay. They can be self-hosted also. Okay, so these are the things. Next is for CTF and red team. Okay, so CTF, there can be multiple categories for CTF, capture the flag. Let me tell you a brief about CTF. So what is CTF? CTF is basically like it's a environment, hmm, which is potentially vulnerable. Okay, and you have to exploit the vulnerability in that, or you have to like think, yeah. So you have to think differently for that, and you have to find the flag. In bug hunting, if you find a vulnerability, we report that. But in the CTFs, if you are doing a web exploitation CTF, so you have to exploit that vulnerability, and after that you will get a flag. So you get a flag after exploiting a vulnerability, and you have to submit the flag. Okay, that so you can prove that yeah, I have found this vulnerability, and the flag is submitted. So there can be multiple categories in the CTF. It can be either web and cryptography, forensics, reverse engineering, and this is binary exploitation, or our more like our malware analysis CTFs, cloud CTF, and AI CTF also nowadays, like prompt injection and all. Okay, so these are also I have tested the CTF for these, and obviously the practice lab, which I will be telling you. These are some platforms. No need to look at this right now. Okay, so let's now discuss very briefly like what are the foundation, how we can do. So for the hardware knowledge, you can do CompTIA A plus syllabus. Hear to me what I'm saying. I'm not saying CompTIA A plus certificate. I'm saying syllabus. Okay. So how you can find the syllabus of that? You can just Google it. You can just Google CompTIA A plus syllabus, or you can just ask from the AI, ChatGPT and all, and it will tell you. Or you can just go to YouTube and search for the playlist for CompTIA A plus syllabus, or just hardware video, hardware knowledge for computer applications, and you will get it's for hardware. Okay, and these are some example like what things you need to know, at least like what is CPU, what are different components in that, what is RAM, ROM, storage, BIOS. Okay, and peripherals and connectivity, how the network work, what is internet, how it work, how we connect, how we can break that. Okay, and what is virtualization technology? We are using VMware, VirtualBox. Yeah, so how does this work? How that work? Hypervisor and all. You need to know about that. It doesn't only include hardware; it also includes software and firmware also. Right? This is a resource Geeky Hub playlist. It's in Hindi, but for the Hindi audience, it's good. But you can, of course, use subtitles if you want. But yeah, there are. many other good resources that I will be sharing you at the end of our PPT, because I have listed some resources over there that I have studied, from which I have studied. Okay. Then the second is our networking. For networking, you can do CompTIA Network Plus syllabus again, or CCNA syllabus. You not need to do like a certification. You are not going into network engineer. If you want, you can. Yeah, you are getting into the red teaming, into pen testing, into the offensive side of cybersecurity. So these are the base, firstly. The foundations which I will be telling you, these can be implemented in each and every field of cybersecurity, not just in offensive side, but in every field. That's why these are foundations. Okay, so networking, you can do, as said, CCNA or CompTIA Network Plus syllabus. And in networking, you need to at least know about OSI model, TCP IP model. Okay, this was old, this was new. And IP addressing and subnetting, the protocols. Okay, firewall and VPN, VPS servers, proxies. You need to know about these at least. And resources, bit and tech, there is a playlist. And but I will be telling you another resource, that's network chuck. You can write it down. Okay, it's having a playlist. You can just google it, network chuck networking playlist, and you will get a playlist. And yeah, he explained really good, and it's in English. Okay, the third thing is our OS and Linux. You guys must be using Windows normally, but we need to get familiarized with Linux, because it's open source, and we can do whatever we want to do. Like, we can delete the whole Linux with a single command, but it's not that much easy with the Windows. Okay, it's completely open source, and we can do whatever we want to do. And there are also tools available in this. Okay, and the best thing about Linux is it's fast as compared to Windows. Why? Because it's CLI, and in CLI there is no need for GUI, so the things get really fast. Okay, so you need to know about the Linux commands, of course, for that. The commands that is used in Linux. Okay, there can be different commands, like for CMD, which is command prompt available in our window. The commands for that can be different, and for the Linux command can be different. Some commands can be similar, but some most of the are different. Okay, so you need to know about the file system. First of all, you need to know about Linux architecture. Okay, and then you need to know about the file system, the permissions in Linux. And here it come about bash CLI, also bash scripting. Bash scripting is a scripting language from which you can automate your daily task. If you, for example, if you want to do recon on a target, and you do same methodology or same sort of commands on every target, why you will be typing commands daily? You can just automate that with the help of scripting language, which is really, I will say, helpful in Linux. That's bash scripting or shell scripting, and it's very similar to the Linux commands, obviously. So you can just utilize that. You have to utilize that, okay, to make the things faster. And now we are having AIs. You can just tell the AI, like, these are the commands that are daily used. Just write a proper, very good bash script for that. Hmm, right? But you need to know about that at least, about the code and normal basics. Then process and management. These are some topics. These are not the complete topic. These are the at least bare minimum topics that you need to learn. You have to learn. Okay. Then the process and service management, and our package managers, how APT, if we do APT install, APT update, how that work, right? And the resource is Hackersploit playlist, Linux playlist. You can just search Hackersploit Linux playlist on YouTube, and there will be a playlist of, I guess, 46 videos, from which you need to just watch 18 videos till curl. Okay, and that's enough for you. And you can later practice your Linux, the CTFs for Linux, okay, in Bandit over the wire. That's the practice place for the CTFs related to Linux, right? Where you can test the commands, whatever you have learned, whatever you want to practice, and like that. So now, next thing come our programming and web fundamentals. It really helpful. Okay, you do not need to go very, very deep into the programming, I'm saying. You need to know what and why. You need to know, like, you can read the code, you can understand the code. Doesn't it mean that full complete code? But you can at least, if someone given uh, a very new code to you, you can at least identify what that code is doing. You can summarize the things. Secondly, if you are doing white box pen testing, so that it can help you, okay, in that. And third, that whenever you are finding the vulnerabilities, some vulnerabilities are directly related to the languages, like JS injection, which is also known as XSS, or SQL injection, okay, or PHP injection, PHP code injection. So these, like, vulnerabilities can be just related to the language. If you know the language, so it will be really easy for you to create the payload of that, or to modify the payload, or to create a payload so that it can evade the firewall, right? So for programming, for scripting, you should know at least one of these. Okay, I will say two: Python and Bash. Okay, so Bash is gonna be very easy. I think Hackersploit have also created the video on this. Okay, but I'm telling, so you can note it down and search that later. But I will be telling you at last also. If I miss something, so you can definitely let me know. So the Python, this is the most important, Python and Bash. You can skip Golang for starting, but later if you will learn about that, it will be helpful. Everything gonna help you in bug hunting, in pen testing, and in overall cybersecurity. Okay, then the front end languages, you need to know HTML and JS, because there is a vulnerability known as HTML injection, and if you know the HTML, you can craft the payloads. Okay, and for JS, XSS, as I told you, cross-site scripting, if you know the JS, you do not need to know completely. At least you need to know this so that you can write your own script, but not this completely. You need to know the tags, what are the tags, and modify that. You can tag, and for JS, you can read the code, what I said earlier, same thing. Okay, and then the PHP, you need to know about that for the backend, so that if there is a PHP application in front of you, you can think accordingly. Like, these can be the default files available in PHP, these can be default vulnerabilities, or these can be the default paths, something like that. Or this, if you find a vulnerability, you can escalate that if you know the language. And Django for Python. Okay, then database, you need to know at least SQL. Okay, and NoSQL also. And for the APIs, you need to know about all these three: REST APIs, GraphQL, and SOAP. SOAP is not used nowadays, but yeah, I find applications. I have find many vulnerabilities in the companies which are using SOAP, and those vulnerabilities were very critical. Okay, GraphQL, it's very commonly used. It's a modern API, and the most common is our REST APIs. Okay, then web fundamentals. Okay, so web fundamentals, we need to know about these things at least. These are not the complete thing, but at least. So you need to know about the HTTP methods. Okay, I've listed some over here, like get, post, put, patch, delete. There can be more, like trace, head, options. You need to know about that. What are HTTP headers? Because you can create a vulnerability. You can find a vulnerability from just this. For example, what put do? You can create a new thing on the server with the help of this method. If this is enabled, so you can maybe create or put a your malicious file on the server. This is possible. Vulnerabilities, attackers have find vulnerabilities, not attackers, bug hunters have find vulnerabilities like this and was paid very well. So you need to know about these things. If the delete method is enable, you can maybe delete someone else's profile. So these are the importance of knowing the HTTP methods. Just wait for a while. Let me drink water. Yeah. So the next thing is HTTP request structure. Request structure, basically. What are the headers? How requests work? What is the request firstly? What requests look like? Okay. What are the headers present in that? If you study about headers, you can find vulnerabilities just for, like, if some headers are missing, that's the bug. It can be from P5 to P2 also, right? Then you need to know about the body of request, headers, parameters, and the URL structure. What is URL? What is its structure? Right? These all the things which I've listed in the PPT, these are bare minimum. and this must need to be studied. The third thing is response codes. Okay, like 200 response code, status code, 300 redirect, that's for redirect, 400, 500. There is also 100 category. Okay, and also vulnerabilities can arise from this. Let me give you example for this also. Okay, so that you can relate the things like how it gonna help you. So, for example, if I find a vulnerability for OTP bypass, and with the help of response manipulation, basically these are the response codes, and I was doing response manipulation. So what does it mean? I was manipulating the response. Like if I enter a wrong OTP in login page, the company responds with the, like I can say like 400 or 500, hmm? Or sometimes 300. It depends on the company. Okay, and but I changed the response to 200. Okay, or some other, by analyzing that, and yeah, I was able to log in into a company without knowing the correct OTP into someone else's account, and I was paid a bounty for that. So that was like that. That's why you need to know about the response codes. Then data formats, like the HTTP request. Data travel in multiple formats. It can be JSON, it can be XML, or it can be form embedded. Hmm? You can search about these and you will get to know. You need to know all three. Okay, it's not gonna take a lot of time. Okay, then you need to know about cookies and sessions. These come under, I can say, our HTTP request, but it's specific because it can be a very large topic, and very critical vulnerabilities can arise from this, like from JWT auth session tokens. If session token are weak, you can just decrypt that. Okay, and you can just change it to someone else and you can get logged into someone else. Or if it's not expired, so if attacker steal that, he can log into someone else's account. So you need to know that session token. If JWT, like there can be vulnerabilities specifically related to JWT, like JWT none attack or some algorithm attack, or there is no integrity check and there is no signature check, or the private key is very weak, you can easily crack that. So that's why you need to know about JWT. You do not just need to know about the functionality, then you also need to know how you can crack that. Okay, I will be telling that in later upcoming slides, that how you can like learn about these things, and I have created by myself and the approach which I follow. Okay, then auth is like you see have seen things, login with Facebook, login with Google, that's your auth. Okay, and then you need to know about the protocols, and the most famous protocol, the mostly protocol used in application layer, that's our HTTPS. In web application, that's HTTPS, obviously. Okay, and TLS certificate, SSL certificates. So you need to know about that because it can also create vulnerabilities. If TLS certificate is got expired, so a person can do a MITM attack, right? And HSTS, that's a security header. If that's missing, so it can create the sort of vulnerabilities. Okay, then you need to know about the web architecture. You can put this thing in first also, it doesn't matter, like what is client, what is server. Okay, how proxies work, load balancers, these things, CDN, okay, CMS, what are these things? These are the basic terminologies. You can just Google also what are the web fundamentals, and you will get a lot of details about that. I will try to share more details about this at the end. Okay, now the second phase is our bug bounty. You know the fundamentals. You can get start with the fundamentals, right? Just wait for 2 minutes. Okay, yeah. So you can just start with the fundamentals. Now the next thing come bug bounty. How you guys can be started with bug bounty, how you will get your first paid and valid bug. Okay, so now I will be telling you briefly about that, how you can get started into this. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is our reconnaissance and information gathering. Now you are already having some knowledge about that, because I told you earlier, like what is recon. It's gathering information about a target. Okay, and it can be passive and active. I've listed the tools over here, but it doesn't mean that these are only the tools available here. There can be much more tools, right? So you need to study about the tools. as said, I will be telling the tools. Hmm? Okay, so more tools which are very important in my own methodology. So the passive reconnaissance, these are some tools. I told you about passive, I told you about active. That in active you directly interact with the target. What Nmap does? Nmap send request to the target server to check the things. What GoBuster do? It directly first, not first, directly like I can say first, but try to enumerate the directories or the files in the target with interacting it. Those things are getting stored in their logs. So you are interacting in active, but in passive you are using just Google for finding the information for who is information start.ht, some websites and tools. Then that, like I will say, the most important tool is Burp Suite. And nuclei, it's also very great tool if you know how to use that correctly, how you can chain, how you can like add in your workflow for testing. And then Delphox, it's for excesses, autumn testing basically. And then Nessus, it's a vulnerability scanner. There are much more tools. Then methodology, script like a framework. On GitHub it's available. I will be telling you that, no need to hurry. Secondly, if I forgot something, you can definitely let me know in comments and chats. Okay, so the second thing, now recon is clear. We need to know about the base OWASP top 10. I've just listed web, but it can be available for our API. If you write on Google OWASP top 10 for API, for web, for LLM, for mobile application, for Android, for AI security, okay, for APIs, so you will get a different list. Okay, so these are some vulnerabilities that I've listed that are very common, that are very, I will say, dangerous. And that's really important for you to need to know, because it can be chained into any of the vulnerabilities. Okay, so SQL injection, XSS stored, there can be different type of XSS. I will not much dive deep, because I can just take one lecture on this XSS or in this SSRF. Okay, a whole hour can be, or not all whole hour, much more than that can be just dedicated to this particular bug class, right? So the next is IDOR and broken access control, broken authentication, XXCC, SSTI part traversal. These are some vulnerabilities, security misconfiguration. You can read about the OWASP top 10, you will get this. And now for practice, the best resource, the best is Port Sugar Academy. You can Google it, you will find the labs with the theory and labs with practical knowledge, and you can later do their certificate also. Okay, then the second resource is DVW, damn vulnerable web application, and third is OWASP Juice Shop. Okay, OWASP has really played a very significant role in our pen testing and compliance and frameworks, launching the framework. So it's everywhere. Okay, and one more thing I want to discuss. Okay, I'll tell you later. Okay, so the next is OWASP for API, for mobile, and for AI. LLM, you can just search LLM if you do not find with the AI. But except from the LLM, there is also OWASP for ML, for also, I guess, MCP. Okay, you can check these things. But the most, I will say, the important is LLM one, not other AI one. You can just replace like OWASP top 10 for LLM and the API and mobile or Android, right? So these are some vulnerabilities and the tools, okay, which can available in that. And specifically, these are the tools OWASP and ZAP, not OWASP, Burp Suite and ZAP. And again, Zap is created by whom? It's by OWASP. OWASP Zap. It's like Burp Suite. Okay. Let me tell you more about Burp Suite. It's a proxy interceptor. You are sending a request to the server, but how it will be going? It will be going via Burp Suite. You can see the response and the request in Burp Suite, and you can modify that. You can do everything you want with the help of Burp Suite. These all tools, you can see the tools, these all can be eliminated, or this all can be done with the help of this verb suite, of course, but you should utilize these things because they are specifically created for that purpose. But this is everything. Okay, so you can intercept and modify HTTP request and response, right? Then intruder for fuzzing. You can do fuzzing also from Bob Suite, and you can do automated vulnerability scanning from Bob Suite also in the pro version. There can be multiple version. there are multiple version for Bubswede, like your community, which is free, like Pro and Enterprise. Okay, you can use the community version, no need to purchase. When you are getting good with bug hunting, you're getting bounties, then you can purchase if you want, or the crack version are also available. I will not promote that, okay, because the virus can enter, but yeah, you should definitely purchase if you like. Then the extensions, well, like you can also install the extensions in the Burp Suite. Like in browser, in Chrome or Firefox, in any of the browser, we can install the extensions, right? Same can be done with the help of Burp Suite. Also, Burp Suite is having its own browser. It's Chromium basically, and you do not need to set up. It's already set up, so it's much easier for you. When you will be learning about Burp Suite, you will get familiarized with the words what I'm saying. Now, what is OWASP deep dive? So, this is for web, which I have listed here. This is for web. And yeah, as I said earlier, the web is the most common thing that you need to study, right? So the first thing is broken access control. What it is? Okay, I will be going a little fast because I have to cover more things. Okay, so broken access control is basically the access controls are broken. If you are trying to access an admin panel, I'm giving an example, which I have find a bug related to it. If you want that, guys, so we can do another session also on particular bugs. Okay, so like I find a bug for broken access control in which I was able to access the admin panel. Usually, if you try to access the admin panel, so it show you like you need to log in or it redirect to you some other page. But sometimes there can be broken access control and you can get logged into the admin panel. Maybe the dashboard is open, the passwords, credentials are weak, or any other, like with the help of IDOR, privilege escalation, or part traversal. These are bugs. Okay, this is the category and this is the bugs under that, right? And the second category is cryptographic failure. Obviously, though there can be weak ciphers, sensitive data exposure with the help of if the key is weak and we crack the key, like if you're using JWT, so there is a key of that, and the key is weak, so we can just modify the JWT token and we can cause sensitive data exposure. Then third is injection, all kind of injection which you heard of. It's SQLI, XSS, SSTI, command injection, no SQLI, and many other SSTI I told you. Okay, these come under injection category. And the A1 and A10. The A1 means that it is most severe and it is most common. Okay, okay. So the second is it's less severe as compared to this. It can be more severe. It doesn't always mean severity. It means like this is most commonly found or this is mostly found. Okay, and the third is injection. I told you insecure design, like they can be missing business logic bugs, or like SDLC phase, software development lifecycle, there is a problem from the starting on of the design of the software with that kind of bugs. Even IDOR can come under insecure design. How? Because if from the starting there is a problem in the code, so yeah, it kind of, so things are overlapping here. It can overlap, so no need to confuse. Okay, and the fifth is security misconfiguration, like you've done some misconfiguration, the default credentials, like for a router or for any WordPress or any other software, having some sort of default credential in starting, which you need to change. You do not change that, we can just Google like default credentials for this XYZ router, XYZ login portal, X or WordPress or something like that, Joomla, sorry, and you will get default credential for that. If you try and you get logged in, or verbose error, you getting stack trace and that the internal path is leaked. Okay, so you can chain these things also. If you know about path traversal, so you can chain path traversal with this verbose error. Hmm? If you do not understand what I said, so you will understand when you learn about these things. Okay, so the next bug can be open S3 buckets. S3 buckets are most commonly used. Then the next is vulnerable components. You are using third party components which are already compromised or which are already vulnerable. Like if you're using a version of WordPress which is really old and which is having vulnerabilities, why updates come to the software? It comes because there is some sort of vulnerability and bugs in the previous version. Maybe it can be vulnerability to security or UI UX bugs, but there were some bugs. That's when new version come. But if you are still using the outdated version and it contains vulnerabilities, so attacker can directly search for the CVs online, like log4shell CV, and he can exploit. that vulnerability can get into your system if he is able to achieve RC, or if that old library or old system is vulnerable to accesses, so he can get accesses. Okay, so accesses come under this also. This is the category, right? So no need to confuse in this. This is just for knowledge, like to get familiarized with this. Then authentication and session failures, weak password, JFD, session fixation, session hijacking. Okay, then software and data integrity, like you're using CI/CD pipeline, and that's compromised. Some sort of component in that is that pipeline is compromised, and the whole pipeline is compromised, and attacker can create a backdoor and can enter in the system, or insecure deserialization or any other bug. Then logging failures. For example, you are testing a web application, it maintain a access log, error log, and other sort of log. But what if company is not maintaining any logs? That's a bug, but it's not for us. How we will know? It can be done in white box pen testing, right? There are basically three kind of pen testing: white box, gray box, and black box. In black box, we do bug hunting. We do not need know anything about the target. In gray box, we know something about the target, and we know do not know, like 50-50. We know something and we do not. And in white box, we're having a complete source code, and it's usually done in the organization and not by the bug hunters. Okay. Third thing is not third, last 10th category is SSRF, server side request forgery. You are sending or you are manipulating the server to do the malicious or to send the malicious request which you want. Okay, you are utilizing the server or exploiting the server for your own advantage. Third phase is CTF. Now you know basics how to get started in bug bounty. What are the foundations? The third thing is CTFs, how to get started in CTFs. Okay, so first I told you about the CTF earlier and I told you about the categories also, but let's still get brief. What are the categories? Hmm? These are the vulnerable labs which are created, and after finding that vulnerability or after exploiting the logic flow or something, you get the flag and you can submit that. Okay, so I haven't told yet that how you can start bug hunting on platforms. Okay, I will be telling that. No need to worry. So there can be different categories: web, cryptography, forensics, reverse engineering, binary exploitation, OSINT also, and our malware analysis also, cloud security also, AI security also, and other things also. So these are the common ones. Okay, and steganography it come under this. So in web, usually these kind of CTFs can be done. Okay, and like in this, these can kind of CTFs can come. These are the bare minimum that I've listed. It doesn't mean that only these are very small amount of thing that I've listed, that these kind of thing can come under that. Forensic maybe PCAP analysis. If you have used Wireshark, so you should know about the PCAP, or steganography, CTFs or memory dumps, disk imaging, log analysis. Okay, basically you are doing digital forensics, and for example, you are given a log file and you are exploiting a log file, and in log file there is a flag. Hmm? That's how it works. Or if you exploit SQLi vulnerability and in database, you got the flag. Hmm? Or if a company is using, not company, if a lab is having a hash, you crack the hash, then you get the flag. Hmm? That's how it works. Reverse engineering, so you can read the things. Like these are the software which I told you over here. Then binary exploitation, buffer overflow, rope chains, heap exploitation, shell coding. This can be some sort of CTF that can be related of this. OSINT, open source intelligence, it's full form. Social media tracking, geolocation. These can be some sort of CTFs. Okay, there, but they can be much more. Okay, then platforms for practicing CTFs and the labs. Okay, so the beginner platforms, it doesn't always means that you are beginner, so you cannot do this. Portsugar come under beginner and advanced both. It include both the things. You can start with this. You can research about that, all these, and if you whatever you find, like you find this good, hack the box. So you can directly start with that. It doesn't always mean that you need to be advanced to start it with these. Okay, but it's recommended to get familiarized with these first. So try me. It's having guided rooms. It's a gamified platform. Then Pico CTFs. It contains the CTFs. Over the wire, it's It for Linux and NetS for web and many others category. CTF Learn, okay, it contain not just this, all contain theory and labs, both the things. DVWA, it's the vulnerable web application for your testing web application skills, pen testing skills. Then OWASP Juice Shop, it's for also for web application, vulnerable web application. Right. Then Hack the Box, it contains red teaming machines, privilege escalation, pouting, lateral movement, that kind of machines, red teaming related, and many other cryptography machines also, forensics labs also. Okay. So you can research about these things and you will get to know. Portugal Academy is specifically for web, and I will suggest for web, you wanna go do this, you must do this. These also, but this must be done. Then Pentester Lab, one hub you can download the malicious vulnerable machine into your VM, okay, virtual machine or virtual box, VMware, and you can test that locally without connecting to the internet if you don't want to. Okay, and then ctftime.org, rootme, these are some CTF platforms that you can practice. Of course, in CTF and bug bounty, first of all, we need to use labs so that we can do the practical. Where we will be able to do the practical. If we do directly jump on the website, we won't be much able to find a bug because it's much more secure than these. If you test this, so you get an idea of at least that, yeah, here this can be bug found or this can be found, or it like increase your motivation. Now this is the most important slide in this that I have created, like with the help of my experience, all that I have created, but this actually I follow, okay, in my day-to-day life. So the methodology that separate hacker from script kiddies. Okay, okay, I hope I'm audible. Sorry for disturbance. So how to get actually started? So firstly, I hope I'm audible, right? If I'm not, so just let me know in. Okay, done, done. Okay, so the first thing is understand the concept. You guys all should must hear this carefully because it's really important. First of all, you need to know about the concept of a vulnerability, or if you're practicing a CTF, so about that CTF. I will tell you briefly, very briefly. For example, if you are practicing, not practicing, if you know about, if you want to know about CSRF vulnerability, cross-site request forgery. So firstly, you need to know about what the bug is. Firstly, I'm telling in perspective of bug bounty. Okay. So you need to know about like what is CSRF. Okay. You can search on YouTube plus Google. Hmm. You have to watch 2 3 videos on that vulnerability, not just one. The more video you watch, the more clearer you get. Okay, because maybe you don't understand from the first video, but you understand from the second video, and do not just rely on that this channel is really hyped, so you need to study only from that. It doesn't mean that. Okay, sometimes knowledge can be gained from a less known channel or less known source, right? Then you can just Google and search. I want to know about, for example, CSR. I will just Google what is CSR vulnerability, or concept of CSR vulnerability, or I can ask in 3 different places. In YouTube, I can do the same thing. In Google, I can do the same thing because in Google, I will get some articles. And third, in AI, I can do the same thing. You have to do in all three because the more you explore, the more you learn. It's really helpful. It can take some time, but at the end you will be having a very advanced knowledge that separate you from the scripted. You are not just using the tool anymore. You are not just like cramming the vulnerability, you are understanding it in depth. Second, I want to tell you now about as a CTF perspective. For example, if you want to know about the cryptography CTF, so how you can know, you can just do the same thing. You can Google how I can solve cryptography CTF. What is cryptography CTF? You can YouTube the same thing. You can ask the AI same thing. Done. Okay. Now the second thing is read real reports. HackerOne reports, Bugcrowd reports. Third thing, I will tell you, I've written over here. No worries, then. You have to read the reports. It's really helpful because you are reading the actual reports of the people who have actually find the bugs and report it to the company. And the best thing, these reports are publicly available to you. Okay, at least the reports, though the reports will be the endless, so you can read throughout your entire life. Okay, and the platform to read the reports and to submit the bugs. I will be telling you that, but for now you can read the reports for hack on HackerOne and bugcrowd public reports, and I've added the Google Doc for that. Site HackerOne in text SQL injection, just change the name of the vulnerability to CSRF, to XSS, to code injection, to RC, okay, to SSTI, to SSRF, whatever you want, and you will get the information. Or you know about Google Docking, you should know about the Google Docking. You can create your own doc. I've just listed one doc, which is very basic. But this is not just one doc. We can create thousands of docs and get different results for the same thing. Okay, and see how. And for Bugcrowd, you can just replace this domain from bugcrowd.com and see how other documented their finding. Basically, how hackers report. You read the reports, you understand how they report. Some reports can be really bad, but I'll, at least you will get a knowledge like how what was their methodology. Okay, then the third thing that you should do is watching video POCs. That's really helpful. Now you know the concept, you know the reports, you can you have to watch the video POCs, and for that YouTube is good, or any other platform which posts videos. I'm not able to recall the name, but there is a platform. It's fine. For YouTube, also having a lot of POCs. You can just search on YouTube SQL injection POC or another vulnerability POC, or if you wanna search a POC for a particular company like Google SQL injection POC, Google this bug POC, or Google vulnerability POC, you can search that also. It's up to you. You are cybersecurity people, so you have to learn. You need to learn how to research, right? So see the actual exploitation in action, like because in the video POC you can see how the person is doing, what it's going through, and like that. Okay, and the next thing is read write-ups, because sometimes reports can be too rigid or complex, but write-up make this thing easy. You know the all of these things you can replace also, like this can come on number 3, and this can number come on number 4. This can what happened, and this can come number on number 2 also, it doesn't matter, right? But this should be on number 5th, right? And this should be on number 4. These three things can be interchanged, no worries. So it it's like a story, like if you read write-ups, okay, like it's kind of story. If you wanna read about like how a person, you can just Google how I identify CSRF vulnerability. I'm taking example of this vulnerability so that it's easy for you. Just you can Google how I can identify CSRF vulnerability, or you can ask the AI list me 10 articles for CSRF vulnerability, or write me a Google Doc to find the articles for the CSRF vulnerability that people have find. You can use anything, or I've listed some docs like medium.com or infosec write-ups or pentesterland. I haven't listed pentesterland here. Oh, I have listed, yeah. So in medium, or you can just go to pentesterland, you can open the website, or real world bug hunting, it's a book, it contains the reports, it's very helpful. And hacker1 activity feed, same thing, okay, no difference. Then practice, you know all the things, now you need to practice. You can practice on Portsugar, DBWA, Track Me, Hack the Box, and the platform which I told you earlier, right? So the essential tools I will be telling here. You need to know all these tools at least. I will be telling which you do not need to know. Okay. So the for recon, these tools, all the tools I will say, this is not the tool, this is a technique. Google Docking. There can be Shodan. This is not a tool, this is a website. So these are tools, websites, and plugins, or other things. Okay, techniques. So and maybe so tools. You can research about that. You need to know all these things. I will not be going much deep because, as said, it can create a whole session for a particular this. Even for this particular tool, we can create a whole long like session for just this sub finder. Yeah, like, true, that's true. Then the proxy intercept tool, you need to know. I've marked the star, so it's really important. Burp Suite, you have to know about this, but there are also other. If you know just Burp Suite and Avast Zap, the main is Burp Suite. If you still know just Burp Suite, it's enough. It's more than enough. Third, exploitation, for exploiting a vulnerability, particular class. So these are tools for particular class of vulnerabilities or for vulnerability scanning. SQL map, you already guessed it's for what? It's for SQL injection. You can I won't suggest to use to start like to find SQL injection just from this, but you should firstly try manually. Then you can try to automate that. If you are not able to escalate, then you can try or to automate the things later on. Okay. And XSS strike, that is for XSS. Then Delphox, it's for XSS. Necto, it's vulnerability scanner. Metasploit, it's a very useful tool for I will say red teaming CTFs, boot to root machines, and the machines in which like the vulnerable OS in which we need to take access, and much more things. Not just that, CV, it also includes CVs. It's a framework. It include everything, just like Burp Suite. It include everything. Then Nuclei, it is like one of the best tool, yeah, but you should not rely on that, because I'm telling you this, you should not rely on that, because I know the people get relied on this, and at the end they uh, find nothing. Okay, you should just put this in your workflow. I'm already warning, because I've seen people facing the problem. API testing, you should know about the Postman. Even Burp Suite can do this, but it's specialized for API testing. So yeah, and all this thing, Postman, GraphQL, Voyager, and Kite Runner. These three things are must. Swagger UI is just how you can see how Swagger work, how you can develop that. It's for REST APIs. Okay. Then mobile, these are some tools, and all are necessary. ADB necessary, JDEX, Frida, APK tool, all are necessary in this case, and all serve the different purpose. This is a CLI. This can be used to connect with the Android device. This can be used to like extract the reverse engineer the code. Hmm. This can be used for dynamic testing, for manipulating the behavior of our mobile application while it's running. This can be used to again extract the code, but it's having some extra functionality which it doesn't, or you are familiar with CLI, so you use this. If you are GUI, so you use this. Even it's also CLI. Yeah. MoveSF, it's static analyzer, automatic analyzer. It's very good. Objection, it's multiple. It's built on Frida, but it can do like multiple. I will say things easier. The thing which are harder in Frida, it get easier in this. And Rosa, it can do automatic vulnerability scanning. Then OS, you need to know about these. No, not all. Kali Linux, Parrot OS. Okay. For now, these can be enough. Ubuntu also. Okay. So these for enough. If you are want to start with Arch, then Black Arch is for you guys. Okay. Then these are some resources that I've listed. So the books that I've read, and I recommend you guys to read Real World Bug Hunting. It's really, really like fantastic book. It include the reports. Okay, you can just give this list to AI and tell that what each book does. AI will give you summary of each book, and you can choose the book accordingly if you want. Okay, yeah. So what happened? Yeah. So the real world bug. What platform name for the POCs? What was the platform name for the POCs? For what POCs you are asking? Like video POCs, or sorry, I don't understand. For video POCs, if you're asking, it's YouTube. But for the reports, if you're asking, so that's HackerOne or BugCrowd. Let me know what POCs you are asking. Yeah, just let me know. I'm glad that you guys asking doubts. Let Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do this thing at last also. You can just drop your doubts and I'll tell you at last. Yeah, so the books I was discussing, the second is Bug Bounty Bootcamp, and I've read this book also. It's very fantastic book. Okay, then the third is Hacking APIs. You know the name suggests it's for APIs. Hmm? Specifically for APIs by Cory Bolge, and really fantastic book. Blackhead GraphQL. It's for GraphQL pen testing. You know, each language having its own book. Like, you know, like this, if we just want to study about GraphQL, we can take a whole session on that. That's a very, I will say, good thing. Okay. Then Web Application Hacker's Handbook. It's old, but it's very large. If you wanna don't start with that, it's fine. But it's contain, I guess, 700 or 1,000 pages between that. Okay. but it's really helpful. It contains web fundamentals. It contains many things. It's handbook. So then pen testing, penetration testing by this. So Georgia. So it's really helpful book for penetration testing. I've read this, so I've read all the books. So that's why I'm suggesting the books. If you're having other books, so definitely you can do read those also. So the next is for Linux Bible. It's really helpful book, and for networking for dummies. This book is really helpful. YouTube channel with the category I've listed. Nahamsec is for bug bounty tips and streams. It do live stream recon streams. It's also for reconnaissance. Nahamsec. Okay, and the methodology, how you approach a target, and bug bounty related to bug bounty, whatever. Recon come under bug bounty, methodology of bug bounty come under bug bounty. So yeah, it's bug bounty thing. Stop. It's again for bug bounty and hacker content. Third is hacker exploit. It contains penetration testing basically, and Linux and many other things. Bug bounty also, CTFs also, labs also, but mainly this. Live Overflow, it's for binary exploitation, reverse engineering, CTFs. Okay. Then IPSec is for hack the box machine walkthroughs. Also, there is John Hammond, which do same thing and much more than that. Network Chuck can be good for networking, CCNA, syllabus, and many other things like understanding the topic in many much more, I will say, interactable way, or a way in which you can understand, because he interacts. The way of explaining is really great, but yeah, it's not much deep, but you get better concept basically. The earlier I told you concept, so you can like clear the concepts about the thing from here if you like. Orva Adyat, that's really great person. If you just Google Orva Adyat recon methodology, you will find it's also having a YouTube channel, so it's really helpful for recon methodology, and you should definitely search about that. I met him in B-Sides Ahmedabad, and I personally met him and I talked with him. So it was a really great experience. We both share the knowledge, and yeah, it was really great experience. Then there is also Bug Crowd. Bug Crowd is also having a YouTube channel. It's really fantastic channel. It releases a lot of things. And if you wanna watch streams, right? So you can just search Black Hat YouTube channel, DEFCON, AI Village, or B-Sides. These are having their dedicated channels, and you can watch their videos. It's gonna really helpful. Maybe those are not popular, but they have really deep knowledge, and that matter at the end. Now, guys, your plan. This is not the finish. I will be telling you more things about after this. Okay. So your action plan, the first thing is definitely you should build the foundations. Okay. The second, see, I've listed Hackersploit 1 to 18 episodes is enough. Second, you have to start with web, of course. You can later expand to AI, web and API, I will say, not just web and API. Then you can later expand to mobile application. You should expand, not just rely on this. You should know about at least web, API, Android, AI, because and must about the AI because it's emerging field. hmm. So these are some things. And then first CTF recon, the third thing you should learn about the CTFs. You can put this on second, no matter, so simultaneously. And reconnaissance is not a small thing. It's really large thing. I find vulnerabilities just from the reconnaissance, and I was paid well. Okay, reconnaissance is very vast thing. Then bug hunting, the things you can start bug hunting on HackerOne, Bug Crowd, or pick a private program in starting. You cannot do that, or you can do if it's a self-hosted. Then focus on a particular bug class. For now, for starting, you can start with a few bugs, like one bug. You learn about one bug, test it everywhere. Learn about two bug, test it everywhere. Three, four, you expand. But in whichever bug you are interested, you can pick that particular and daily do research about that. Not daily, whenever you like. Then submit report, even if it's any or that. Okay. So now I want to tell you more things. So how, like, your approach should be like T-shape. How T look like? You should be having a knowledge about each and everything, basic knowledge, foundations, but you should know in depth about your particular thing. Hmm? There is T, like let me show you the T. See T, here is T. Okay, here is T. So these horizontal line means that you know about, like you know about API, you know about AI, you know about I will say web, Android. But if you are specialized in Android pen testing, so this is vertical line represent that you are specialized in one, but you know about other things also. You know about cloud security, you know about all the things, but you're specialized in particularly web application pen testing, right? So that should be your approach. And more things about I want to tell about the platforms. There can be two categories of platform. The first is self-hosted, the second is programs. So the self-hosted is basically the companies launching their own programs. If you search Google Bug Bounty program, where you find that? On Google own website, hosted by them, maintained by them, so it's self-hosted. But if it's platform, the platform act as a mediator between the company and you. HackerOne, Bugcrowd or Integrity, yes we hack. These are the most popular example for that, right? So you can directly start with the platform if you like, or with the self-hosted. According to me, you should start with the self-hosted. You can just ask AI, create a Google Doc for finding self-hosted programs. Okay, or you can Google sushi whooshi Google Docs for bug bounty programs. And more thing, you should start with Hall of Fames, not with directly bounty or swags, because it can create demotivation. I have faced this field, I have seen many people. So at least firstly your main motive should be gain experience to gain knowledge. Just for a minute, let me drink water. Yeah, so I was saying the first thing should be you have to gain experience and knowledge, then you can directly jump into the bounties, and it will be really good for you guys. Now before Q&A, I will share more resources with you. Let me just share my another screen with you guys. My screen wasn't shared. What happened? uh, you guys seen this screen? Just let me know. I think my screen just got disabled. You seen this? No, no, earlier, when I told about this, I was telling about the books, then it was visible or not at that time? It was? It was? Nice. And what about the this screen? Yeah, CyberSources, you already know all this. Yeah. So the first thing is CyberSources. This I really use this website created by BST04. Okay, and the community. So the second thing is my Medium. You can read scripts.com. I publish the articles. Okay, for the vulnerabilities. Third thing should be for reconnaissance. I have created a tool a long time back, but this is not the main motive. My main motive is to tell you this, show you this. I hope it's visible. My recon methodology, old methodology, which is really helpful for beginners. Okay, and like how you started. It's a methodology, host, discovery, firewall check, and the script which I created is a bash script just for this, right? And it contain all the tools which you need. You need to know all these tools. Earlier I was saying that there are more tools, so these are the more tools, techniques, website, plugin, extensions, whatever website. So you need to know about all this. You can read, analyze. More thing about the vulnerabilities I want to tell. crowd VRT. VRT. So if you want to know about particular bugs, you can directly visit this. It contain category also. See, it's also contain AI security nowadays, but it contain category also like broken access control, and it contain bugs also, and also like how different methods of finding the bug and its severity. For example, I will search broken access control, which is a category novas. So there can be different bugs in that, like IDOR authentication bypass. You haven't know about 2FA bypass, but it's listed over here. So there can be multiple name of bugs: session fixation, content spoofing, broken cryptography, and there is a description of where it is found, where the place. You should analyze this. It's like a gold mine for a beginner in bug hunting. Okay, so I think I've shared much information. That's it. Ah, yeah, one more thing about report writing. So for the report writing, let me give you a small template. But yeah, you can enhance that with the help of AI. But let me share my another screen and tell you a small template for that. Okay, my word is visible. So the first thing can be title of the vulnerability. Like for example, you find a CSR vulnerability. Second can be vulnerable URL, where you find the vulnerability, what URL was vulnerable. Some fields can be not directly eligible. Like if it's a cryptographic failure of it's a some other bug, maybe you do not need to add vulnerable URL. Okay, this is the basic template. Then severity. You can add the severity of that bug. Okay, then CWE or reference, you can add this at last, but I will suggest to add a CWE at starting. Then it can be just description or summary of the vulnerability that you identify. Then you should use AI for this. Okay, but not fully rely on AI. You should know how to create reports manually. Then you can like prompt the AI according to that, do this, do that. Okay, and you can also think, do not fully rely on AI or anything. You have to implement that thing because it's necessary, but you have to use own brain. Then next thing is step to reproduce. Okay, the next thing is impact. What's the impact of the vulnerability? The next thing is remediation. Okay, it's fine. I'm just done like this. And the next thing is one more thing I want to tell you. In step to reproduce, you can add the screenshots with the steps, or you can add at the last. I will suggest you to add screenshot with the steps here, like one step, then it's screenshot, second step, then it's screenshot, and at the last you can add the video POC for video POC basically. One more thing that I want to tell is really helpful for the companies but optional, that HTTP request and response. You should add this verb suite request and response so that it's easy for the company to identify. It's optional, but it's good. It shows professionalism. So this can be a basic report template. Okay. Um. So that's it from my side. Now we can continue with your doubts. You can't hear me. Now I'm am I audible or not? You can hear me, right? Okay. Can you please show me some of your reports? Um, Let me show you a report which is fixed, because sometimes let me show you. Let me search for that. Let take firstly doubt from the above, like which platform you said, which what was the platform name for the POC you told that time, but you forgot the platform name. For the POCs, I told the platform. I told, see, for the POC, I think there is some mistake. For the POCs, I just told medium, pentester land, and that. But I think you're asking about the bug bounty platform, that HackerOne and Bugcrowd, isn't it? Okay. Mm. So the next thing for my reports, let me just quickly search my report that is fixed and do not cause any problem, of course. Um, I will be showing a Hall of Fame target for, let's say, WHO. Let me just search. Just wait for 2 minutes so that I can identify the report, because it's not like that that I can just show you any report. Okay, sure. Now let me. Yeah, yeah. I was just, I said that I was indexing the report because I cannot show the company name, right? Okay. Uh, no, no, no. I don't know what's the problem in this. Okay. I think my screen is visible again. Okay, so this is the report. Let me zoom it. This is a like example of one of my report. So the bug was improper review word validation, allow upvoting arbitrary or unpublished review IDs. Okay, it was a post request. I sent vulnerable this method, and with this URL also. Severity was low to medium, uh, according to me, and I listed the CWE number here. This is the summary. Okay, and then I just like summarize whole report, what it does, like that in this. Obviously these things are getting recorded, so you can later check it. So then the next was step to reproduce. I haven't pasted the screenshots because I haven't redacted that, so I just pasted the steps here. Okay, and within the request, right, these are the steps how I identify the vulnerability, and this is the HTTP request and the response, the impact on the organization. Hmm. Then the remediation, what company should take, and the POC and the video POC screenshots, whatever like. This is one of my POC. Okay. Is there anything else? in the web CTF. Yeah, exactly. And can you recommend some certificates? Yeah, so the certificates I'll tell you about which I've done. EJPT. It's a very like it's a practical certificate, but it's not proctored. But yeah, you can gain hands-on experience, and it's related to somewhat network scanning, network enumeration, and all. But it also include web part and all, EJPT, EWPTX, Pentest Plus, and if you wanna do CPent, it's also a good certificate, and it depends like what kind of certificate you are asking, right? CH, you can do practical one, or CPENT, ECPT, and what I told you, EWPTX. These are some certificate that I will recommend for starting point of view. Later, there are much more certificates, OSCP, and all that you can do, right? So just wanna know the approach you follow to solve the lab of the CTF. Okay, web CTF. See, if you know about web pen testing, so you can solve web CTF without any problem. True. If you know bug hunting, the same kind of things are put it into the web CTF. But the most common is that like I've seen a lot of in the CTF web CTF, they have hide the things in source code. But in bug hunting, it's not common, but in web CTF it's common. So if you know bug hunting, you can do web CTF. But if you know web CTF, it doesn't mean that you can do bug hunting. Hmm? So the approach for me was just I learned bug hunting and applied the same thing in the doing the CTFs, and I do not need to learn anything because the same thing was there in the CTFs. Okay. If I wanna tell a common approach, so it's for the CTF is do source code review, robots.txt, sitemap.xml, and in source code there is yeah JavaScript files. So and apart from this, one more thing. These are four, and the fifth one is directory busting using GoBuster for any other tool. These four five things are very common that you should do in starting for web CTF, right? And how common are low hanging vulnerabilities with the mass use of AI? Um, like I feel the barrier of entry now much higher with the AI finding all the. It's true. Like AI, AI is finding all the low hanging fruits, but we can escalate low hanging fruits to much more like I will say good bug. Like clickjacking bug can be escalated into open redirect. It's a low bug, but can be escalated. Okay, or also open redirect can be escalated into XSS, which further can be escalated into ATO, right? But AI already identified these kind of bugs, so there is a special, I will say, like thing that's AI security. AI is finding bugs in web application. You find bugs in AI itself. Yeah, because AI security is booming right now. Who will take care about the AI? You all have heard about the Mythos. Yeah, it's not available for us. It's good, right? So yeah, so you can learn about AI security, how to pen test AI application itself. Okay, how to pen test AI application itself. And for the low hanging, but there are still many low hanging fruits, I will say, which can be business related. I cannot recall the name, but those if these those are complex, so AI still cannot find those. Yeah, and secondly, the target which is having a very large scope, you are having better chance of finding a vulnerability in that, or a company which doesn't much implementing AI. Okay, you can find bugs in that, and because they do not know much about AI and all. Yeah, that's how. But yeah, it's true. I will not deny it's true that low bugs are getting ejected, done by AI itself. But it doesn't always means that the complex bugs are gonna be hard. It doesn't like that. Complex bugs can be easy also, right? Yeah, it include multiple steps or chain. It include, but it can be easy also. Like the Let me recall it. Uh, it was a business logic bug uh, that I found with the help of reading the API documentation. Very easy bug, right? And AI wasn't able, I don't think that AI was able to find that because I read the functionality, I abused the functionality which was as intended to be used, and it was really easy. It was an API security bug related to business logic in which there was a like company say about the trial expiration. Hmm. So it said that the trial will be expired after these or that. I don't remember the date, 7 days, I guess, or 14 days, 7 days, yeah. So, but it wasn't expiring. Hmm. So I reported that and it was a bug. AI cannot check like that. It was very easy because I did the documentation. That, so yeah. Okay, anything else? Let me know, guys, if you learn something new. It will really motivate me if the session was good for you guys. Hmm. Hmm. Thanks a lot. It's my pleasure that you invited me for telling about my experience, sharing my knowledge. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot to you. Uh, yeah, for sure. We can do that. Yeah. If you guys learn something new, yeah. So I will definitely open with to do more talks and much more deeper, right? With the practical because the today's main focus was to get started in the cybersecurity, but we can do a whole practical session on reconnaissance or on just REST API, on just web exploitation. Yeah, we can do whatever we want. Next token Idora. Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot to everyone, guys. And Sandy's next token Idor. We can, of course, we can. Okay. Yeah, of course, reconnaissance. Of course, these are the ideas. You can just discuss with them what are the ideas, and yeah, I'm open with that. Whatever the votes are higher, we can continue with the next session on that, right?